Hey guys, welcome back to Popo's Woodworks. Today's video, because I had to do it anyway, so I figured, hey, I'll go ahead and do a video for it to help anybody out there that needs the help or just curious on how you do this. But anyway, I have a Harbor Freight Predator 2000 watt inverter generator. I've had this thing probably 3 years now. I use it a lot. I use it when I go to Busco, and because we primitive camp there and you got to have something to do the power with. I've used it a bunch of times when the power went off at my house, the heavy rain, because that's all we get nowadays is rain and trees down and all that. So with that said, I'm going to be looking at the air filter and seeing how dirty that is. If it's dirty, I'll just blow it out with my air hose, and then I'm going to change the oil on it, because I think I've probably got about a good 4 days solid use on this thing, and it's probably due an oil change because it doesn't hold much oil. So just stick with me. I'll show you what the generator looks like after I get the phone off the tripod, and we'll get started on this. So those of you that don't know, here's what I guess the meat and the potatoes of the generator, what it looks like. You got 2 outlets, you got a reset mode. This right here is they give you this plug you can plug in. It has 2 alligator clamps where you can jump or either charge a car battery, lawnmower battery if you choose to. It has a reset button right there. The parallel outlets is if you want to, it comes with those cables too. If you want to run it, this one to another generator just like this one to double the power, you can do that. Now basically, when I go to crank it, I turn it down to where it says start. Usually you only have to pull it maybe 1 or 2 times. So once it fires up, you got a light over here that's going to stay red. And once it turns to green, you click this back over to run, and she's good to go. And once it's running, this switch over here, I call it the eco mode, but it's the ESC throttle on. So basically what that is you never want to crank it with it on. You want to crank it with it high. So that just tunes the generator up like high throttle, low throttle. So if you're going to be using low wattage, running a fan or something like that, you can keep this on the eco mode, and that thing runs quiet. I mean, it's super quiet. And even when you throttle up to where it brings the idle up higher to where it gives you more power, then it's still not that loud. And then of course when you're going to go to turn it off, you turn it off like this. So I would crank it now and show you, but I don't have any gas in it because I always run the gas completely out of this before I store it. So, and a little bit of gas goes a long way. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing around, and we're going to have to pop these 3 screws out. I've already taken these 2 out, so we got to take this one out, and that'll get to the inside where I need to change the oil. All right, like I said in the previous clip, I've already got these 2 out, and I've already started this one, so we're going to go ahead and pull it out. And they're not very big screws. Let me make sure that's on camera. They're just tiny little screws, so make sure you don't lose them. So once you get that done, you just kind of stick your fingers in behind it, and it pops right on off. And you got your insulation in here. I guess this helps keep the heat in or keeping it quiet. So we set that off to the side. All right, let me see what now I'm gonna show you. You can see that's from Busco. All that dirt and dust down in there is from Busco. So it's the first time I've took it out since I ran it there. So what I'm gonna do before I even, here's your oil cap here. Before I even fool with any of that, I'm gonna get my air hose and fire it up, and I'm gonna blow all this junk out of there. I might have to take the other side off so it'll have room to get out. So bear with me, let me get that clean, and then I'll be right back with you. Now that I got that a little bit cleaner, if I ain't mistaken, I believe this right here is the air box or the air cleaner. So I'm gonna pop this screw out. Everything on here is Phillips head screws, and we're gonna see how dirty this thing is. And so far, it doesn't look. Now it has. All right, let me show you all this. It has a little rubber gasket which seals this off, because when I pulled the filter out, it tried to come out. So you got to be careful, make sure you don't unseat that rubber gasket or lose it rather. But you can see it's pretty clean in there. And here's the filter. I mean, it's a little dirty. I've already got the air hose set up, so I'm gonna go ahead and blow off what I can. But let me clean this off. I ain't gonna do that on camera, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, I got that somewhat clean. And it has, in case you lose your orientation, you can see these little dots on this side and lines on this side. Well, here's the outer cover, and I got dust in that. But you can see the lines, so you know this is the outside right here, and this is the inside. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this back in here. And like I said, making sure that O-ring making sure that O-ring sits in there like it's supposed to. Blow that out to where it's good and clean, and then just line this all back up and tighten up the screw. Trying to do this around the camera here. You'll hear it pop when it gets seated like it's supposed to, and all I do is I just reach around it and make sure I got it good and tight. Alright, so I'm pleased with that. Now we'll get started right here with checking the oil, and then I'm going to go ahead and change it too, so I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so all you do with this is you unscrew it. It does, you can see, let me get that in the camera, it does have a little dipstick on it. But basically, what the directions say is, let me lay this down. Yeah, you can see the threads. These threads in here, all I do is when I pour the oil back in here, I just make sure that the oil comes up to that first bottom thread that you can see. And then you know you're good. And to get the oil out, I've got it set on my workbench. I got an old crappy bucket that I use. It has a spout. You just tilt it up and let it run out. But in a nutshell, you can see that oil black as it could be, so it'll definitely do. So I'm gonna go ahead and find my funnel because that'll make my life easier. I don't know what I did with it. And then after I get that, we'll get the new oil back in it. All right, the oil I'm using is Pennzoil 10W30 because we live on the East Coast in Virginia, and I guess this is what I run in my truck, so I guess it's good enough to run in here because we don't have too terrible extreme temperatures. And we still got a little bit more. Now, if you don't have a funnel and you're steady, unlike me, you could tilt this thing up some, I guess, and pour it in there. But I'm sure to make a huge mess trying to do that. Or you fill the funnel up too much. All right. We're just about there now. All right, now I ain't gonna sit here and keep watching you, letting you watch me pour oil in it, but I'm gonna keep doing it till I get it to the level that I was telling you about, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, as you can see, right here, I got just a little bit too much oil in it, but the easy fix to that is just tilt the thing up. That's what that spout's for. It'll let that oil run out of there. Because like I said, you really want it down there at pretty much that first thread when you're looking in the hole. I'm going to tilt it up, let it run back so I can see where I'm at. Still got just a touch too much in there. I got a paper towel at the bottom trying to catch it, which my shop wouldn't be right if it wasn't filthy. All right, I know when I tilt it up that's off camera, and I apologize, but I believe I'm almost there. Maybe one more pour. All right, get that off. Let me tilt it back. Yep, I believe I'm right where I need to be. So now I'll clean up that overspill and then get the cap back in there. All right, now that I got everything the way I need, I don't know if this is going to show up too good, but I like for the oil to be just under the high mark on the little dipstick. So now we are good. I'm gonna throw a little bit of gasoline in it. I'm gonna put this cover back on. Matter of fact, let me back you up and I'll show you how to put the cover on. All right, so we got the dipstick tight. go back and double check this. We got the air filter box tight. Now, see if this shows. This thing has 3 clips on it, one here, here, and here, and you got 3 holes. Now sometimes it goes on really easy, and sometimes you just gotta kind of finagle it a little bit and work it in there. Like so. And then you just push it up here. And after you get them in there, you just put the screws back in it and she's ready to go. So I'll go ahead and get this one in. I got all these power tools laying around my shop, and here I am using a regular old screwdriver. And the last one. All right, and that's it. So now the cover's back on the way it's supposed to be. I'll go, like I said, like probably 10 times before, I'll go ahead and throw some gas in it and show you what it looks like running. Just a footnote, if you can see that, it only took about, and like I said, I put a little bit too much in it, so it only took, right here's the level, almost a half a quart of oil. So 1 quart, you'll get 2 oil changes out of it. For the ones that like to get real technical, the cap, get it in the camera, the cap has, this is where you get your air. It has an on and an off here to where to let it get air. So once you get that off, on the inside of this, you've got a screen, if I can find it in the camera, which sits down in there, I guess helps filter it. So that just sits in there. Now I'm gonna get me some gas and put in it. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of gas in it. I put some, I guess it wasn't enough to crank it, so I'm gonna do a little bit more. All right, screw that down, make sure that's off, that's on. And then got this to start, and then just pull it. Red light, green light. Then you flip it back to start. Must not have had enough gas in it. Let's try it again. There is on high. That's if you put it on the eco mode. Like I said, it's really, really quiet. I've heard air compressors and little portable air compressors are louder than this thing. Alright, well that's it. That's checking the air filter and changing the oil. Like I said, pretty simple, easy to do. I know it's a little long, but I like to get detailed, because if I don't put the detail in there and take that little extra time to film that one little stupid step, if you will, then I'll have questions on it. So I try to get everything in the video to try to help y'all out. But with that said, if you got any questions, shoot me a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. Like I said, I didn't make the thing. I've used it for 3 years and I really like it. I am not getting compensated by any means from Harbor Freight from this. This is the 3rd thing that I've bought and I've done a review on that I really like. And I mean, you can't beat it. I think I paid $449 for it on sale, and I've used the crap out of it. So I think that's about it. But other than that, thank you for watching. Y'all have a nice day. Like and subscribe if you like the video. If you don't, so be it. Not everybody likes everything, but I appreciate you watching this one. Have a good day. Well, that's it in a nutshell. That's my take on that. Oh, okay. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Well, that's it in a nutshell. That's my take on taking it and taking it on over to the take it and stick it up your rear and take that thing with you, but I just can't do this. All right, so that's it right there. And I'm five times I've tried to do this and I can't do it. Oh, Lord help me.